Hi all, welcome back to a new post today, and let's speak about paid period. Yes, so let's speak about the debate that is surrounded about paid menstrual leave for women. Now, the Supreme Court today, earlier in the day, said that it's a policy issue and that though it might be a biological subject and related to the rights of women, but it involves also a disincentive for the employers who might think twice before employing women in their organizations. So let's look into detail about this. Now, a new PIL has been submitted to the Supreme Court and it revived the debate around the government's mandate, around the government for a mandated paid menstrual leave for women, that is in organizations, colleges, schools, etc. Now, this petition was filed by one lawyer, Shailendra Mani Tripathi, and he made certain arguments in this direction. So he sought the Supreme Court to give a direction to the state governments and the centre to frame rules as soon as possible for a paid menstrual leave for women in education institutions and also workplaces. And this, he says, will protect the rights of women with regard to their health and also is in tune with the provisions of the Maternity Benefits Act of 1961. Now, the petition termed the denial of a paid period a violation of the Constitution, saying that women suffer from psychological and physiological as well as health issues during the menstrual cycle, and this is being treated differently by different states. And also he used a few handful of examples about Zomato, Byju's and Swiggy, who are already providing a paid period leave to women in their organization, and he asked that the governments and the companies all over along with the government organizations should provide a paid period to women. So what is it all about now? The Supreme Court now, after a PIL was filed under Article 32 requesting the Supreme Court to issue a direction, has refused to entertain it, saying it is a policy issue. And the PIL was seeking that there should be a menstrual leave for female students and working women across India, stating that the matter is actually one regarding to the rights of women. Now, the plea was filed under Article 32, as I said, and the petitioner asked the Apex Court to issue directions to for the centre as well as the state government to come up with rules for a paid period or a paid menstrual leave for women throughout the country. Now, the policy is in the domain of the executive and the legislature. This was said the Supreme Court said that the judiciary cannot ask the government to bring about a policy in this regard. So what has been the issue? So the trigger point for this issue immediately was actually related to Spain, a country in Europe. So it is Europe. So it is the first EU country to introduce paid menstrual leave or paid period for at least 3 to 5 days for women, the payment of which will be made by the government. And it also made provisions for menstrual hygiene products to be available not only in educational institutions but also government offices, private offices, and also prisons. So what is the basis being taken by the petitioner who has gone to Supreme Court for a paid period for women especially? He says that in spite of the menstrual cycle being the first stage of maternity, it is being ignored by the governments and the society at large, and that women need care during this period, and this is being ignored by the government and society. So he wanted the Supreme Court to issue a direction to the government to bring out a program or to bring out a law which will give a paid period or a paid menstrual leave to the women. So he said that there were provisions in the 1961 Maternity Act for allowing monthly leave for girl students and also working women in their respective workplace during the menstrual cycle. So Tripathi, the person who filed the PL, said that the Act makes provisions for all the problems faced by women related to maternity, and menstrual cycle being the first stage of maternity should also be included with this in this ambit, and there should be a leave for women during this period from work, and that too it should be a paid leave. So he said that the provisions of the Act made it mandatory for the employers to provide a paid leave to women for a certain number of days during the pregnancy, and menstrual cycle being a very important stage with regard to maternity should also be considered in this regard. And so he said that female students working at all the respective workplace and also educational institutions should be provided a paid leave. So it said that it is without doing so, it is actually violating Article 14 of the Constitution, because there are few states that are coming up already with this paid leave concept. Now let me tell you that Bihar and Kerala are the two states in India who are providing menstrual leave to women. So the petition said that in 2018, one MP called as named as Shashi Tharoor introduced a women's sexual, reproductive and menstrual rights bill that proposed sanitary pads should be made available to women by public authorities in their premises or workplaces. And also recently a menstruation benefits bill 2017 was represented again in 2022 during the budget session, but it wasn't taken up. So he portrayed the lack of initiative by the legislature to show interest to the concept of paid menstrual leave. Now, is this being demanded only in India, or there is the same picture worldwide? Just let us take a quick review of this. So let me tell you that as early as in the 1990s, it was Soviet Union who provided women with paid leave during the periods for the pains that they go through during the menstrual cycle. Japan was a country who introduced a law in early as in 1947, South Korea as early as in 1953, and few provinces of China like Shaanxi, Hubei, etc. also made provisions for menstrual leave. Now, Indonesia also offers 2 days of paid monthly leave to women during the menstrual cycle, and but they say that the women really rarely take it because a physical examination goes on them. Other countries who have done this in this regard are also US, China, Ireland, Taiwan, Japan, Indonesia, South Korea, Spain, Zambia, etc. also provide menstrual leave to women in one form or the other. Now, the Delhi High Court directed the centre and the Delhi government considering a PIL on menstrual leave to take it up as a representation. Giving a reply in the House, the then Minister of Women and Child Development Smriti Irani said that the civil services rules of 1972 do not provide a menstrual paid leave for women. But in this recently, Bihar and Kerala have been granting menstrual leave to women. Bihar has been providing menstrual leave for women as early as in 1992 during the chief ministership of Lalu Prasad, and Kerala recently in January 19 as provided. Now, there was a counter argument laid before the Supreme Court during the petition. A woman lawyer said that if this is going to happen, then this will be a disincentive on the private employers who will think twice before taking the women, because it would hurt their profits, or also they would have to share the extra burden of paying women a paid leave. And therefore this was inconclusive. The Supreme Court denied to entertain the petition, saying that it's not policy making is not the domain of the judiciary, and the best to do is the Ministry of Women and Child Development, that they should go and ask the women to bring up a bill in this regard, and after that the government will take its own course. So this was said by the Supreme Court. But yes, definitely something which was a taboo, which was not being spoken before, now is being discussed in the open, and only the times to come will tell whether women will be provided with this benefit in organizations, and what will be the views of various employers with regard to paid leave, menstrual leave to women also. So I hope this foundation was really helpful to you all, and if you did like, please like, share, subscribe, and do follow me for your daily updates with new topics that made news on that very day. And until then, as usual, it's very happy learning.